Camera, action.
Hello everyone, my name is Tirthank Shah. Welcome to Show Reel Talkies produced by Show Reel Media. Our gifting partners are Picasso Perry Pens, Pastel and Pastel, Gift Zone and Century Optics. Our tonight's guest is someone very special. He's an actor who started his career with a very famous TV show Hip Hip Hooray. He later worked with legendary actors like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan in Mohabbatein, Mr. Shah Rukh Khan in Veer Zara, and continued his acting journey by doing 12 feature films. He has also starred in a very famous TV show called Anupama. And recently he's booming his career on OTT platforms by doing web shows like Crash, Punchbeat Season 2, Maya, Sanat and many more. So welcoming Rushad Rana. Hello sir, how are you?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm completely fine. Sir, thank you very much for being here, being a part of Show Reel Talkies. We are very honored that you gave us this time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on your show.
You're most welcome, sir. Before we dive into your whole life, your experiences, your work stories, there's something that I would want to ask. Going way back, where did this all start? Where did Rushad sir got an idea that I want to become an actor?
Okay, so going right into the flashback. I was a very filmy kid. Okay. I was extremely passionate about films, Hindi films per se. To an extent that I used to go alone to the theatres and watch movies because my parents used to be like, यार ये certain films हमें नहीं देखनी, तो मैं जाके देखता था. I was very fond of dramatics and being on stage in my school.
Okay.
So I was always, in the forefront of, elocution competitions, dramas,
All fine arts.
all fine arts basically. So तब मैंने सोचा नहीं था कि मैं actor बनूंगा. But I'll tell you what happened. What used to happen with me is that entire process of me doing those plays, वो जो एक महीने की rehearsal होती थी, और वो जो play perform करना होता था, I used to suddenly feel alive. There used to be a change in me which I couldn't imagine. I couldn't understand back then. But I used to love the feeling of being on stage. I used to love that, the adulation that I used to get after a show would get over. जब green room में आके सब आपको congratulate करते थे. When my parents would feel all proud कि अरे बेटे ने play में part लिया है. So I think somewhere down the line, it was something which used to give me a lot of happiness. It was only after my 12th standard is when I decided to get a portfolio made, thinking that I will do modeling. I never thought I'll get into acting. उस टाइम पे मेरा शौक क्या था कि I'll do modeling, मैं रैंप करूँगा. My dream was to be probably a Raymond's man or something like that. So I made this portfolio. There was this agency with which I signed up, and वो agency that was the budding phase of agencies. उस टाइम पे होते नहीं थे. So there was this model.
What specifically year are we talking about right now?
97.
97. Okay.
So that's when I got my portfolio made. Unfortunately for me, the guy who made my portfolio, when my pictures were out, he's telling me, यार तेरी तो नाक बहुत लंबी है, तुझे काम नहीं मिलेगा. Imagine, my father spent around 50 grand उस ज़माने में on my portfolio. An entire new wardrobe was bought for me. Went to a stylist to do my hair and everything. And when the pictures are out, the guy who made my folio is telling me कि भाई तुझे काम मिलना doubtful है यार.
I guess he.
So I was disillusioned for a bit, but then I kind of held myself and I said कि boss, किसी ने बोला तो you can't give up. And I had that pressure on my mind that I have to return my father's money because we have always been a very normal middle class family, a job doing family. So it was not कि यार black का पैसा पड़ा था दे दिया कर दिया and you forget about it. So then I took it upon myself कि यार अब तो I have to distribute these pictures और इसका कुछ तो निकलना है. I have to do something with it. I am not going to let these photographs rot there. So started distributing my photographs. What luckily happened for me is that, contrary to what this guy told me, I got a very good response for the pictures that I distributed. Or immediately within I think a week of distributing my pictures, I started getting calls for auditions. Not direct work, but auditions. So I became a regular at Famous Studios Mahalakshmi, जहाँ एक ज़माने में auditions होते थे. We all used to drag ourselves over there to give auditions. And in the process of those auditions, I learned a lot. I learned what it is to face a camera, what an audition is all about. You know, what is it like? You're given a script. Many ad film auditions used to be, they used to just give you a situation and you had to perform. So for a year, I was only auditioning. And I used to be like, अरे यार काम नहीं मिल रहा है, कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. फिर क्या हुआ? A very interesting thing happened. I had a list of coordinators, जिनको मैंने photographs अपने distribute किए थे. सब लोग मुझे auditions के लिए तो बुलाने लगे. उसमें से एक coordinator थी. She started telling me कि why don't you start doing group shoots? I mean, you know, lead मिले ना मिले, you might be the face of an ad or not. तब तू कब तक रुकेगा? At least start circulating yourself. Be on a set. Understand what it is to be on a set. You know, which we don't know. We have a perception, but we don't know. And so I started doing that. I started doing a lot of group shoots. But what started happening is that every time I would be on a group shoot, I would be like, yaar, I am in the 15th row behind. और जो main model है वो कैमरा को face कर रहा है, मैं पीछे हूँ. I used to struggle to see कि मेरा चेहरा दिख रहा है या नहीं. You know? So, and I didn't like the process honestly. I was like, nee, I want to be in front of the camera. I have not done so much mehnat to be in the background.
Right.
Then it so happened that in one of the ad films, I was again in a group shoot and the director saw me, spotted me. He already did the main pack shots of the ad with another guy who was supposed to be the main model, which coincidentally the clients didn't like. So he spotted me. He said, "Tu kal aaja, main tere kuch shots lunga." I became the main model of that ad. It was an ad for a Rotomac pen. I still remember. And it was surreal, you know. I would go out, you know, with my friends when I was in college, and TV pe my ad would play. So that actually gave me a lot of boost. That was like, okay, I am not wrong in thinking that I can do this. Then Himankush happened. I got an audition for Himankush. I never thought I'll get into acting because I was studying at that time. And my mom, being a teacher, she was always very particular that I do very well in academics. So when I told them कि एक serial के लिए audition आया है, both my parents were like, nothing doing. We are not. तू serial में घुसेगा तो पढ़ाई भूल जाएगा. You know. So anyway, I kind of convinced them. I was like, it's for a youth show. It's going to be all teenagers. Let me at least go and audition. क्या जाता है? It will be an experience. I auditioned for Himankush. Now, you know, the audition went very well, and I came back home and I told my parents that I think I might get selected. मुझे ऐसा gut feeling आ रहा था, मुझे ऐसा intuition आ रहा था. So I convinced them that even if I happen to get that, you know, I will complete my studies and I will not give up on my studies. And Himankush actually got, you know, it just flowed into my life beautifully. That, you know, we would shoot on weekends, so I could attend my college. Most of us were in college at that time.
Major of the cast was.
Yeah, Vishal, Purab, all of us were in college at that time. Priya, all of us were studying at that time. So we would attend college from Monday to Friday and shoot on Saturday, Sunday. And it was like the perfect thing. So yeah, that is how I kind of began my journey as an actor. Once I started doing Himankush, I realized that, boss, this is, I think, where I want to be, and this is where I belong. And that was how it all started.
So that's some journey to start off with.
Yes.
As you said that someone else was casted for the pen ad.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out to them, and you were casted.
Yeah.
My question here is, do you believe that it's important that you have a good fate? नसीब होना actor के लिए important factor है?
बहुत important. I believe everything is नसीब and everything is time. You know, I am 40, about to be 42 now, and I think now I have started getting the kind of work which I probably 15 years back dreamed I should be doing. So it is all about timing. Everything in your life is about timing. You know, once Aloknath ji said this very, very beautiful line when I was shooting a series with him. He said that समय से पहले और किस्मत से ज़्यादा कभी कुछ नहीं. And that at that time I was like, oh, देखते हैं नहीं किस्मत बदल सकते हैं ये हो सकता है. But I think it makes so much sense. And today now that I'm much more mature than when I had heard that line, I think it makes a lot of sense that समय से पहले कुछ नहीं होता और किस्मत से ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं. और अगर आपकी किस्मत में है, I think probably there at the right place, at the right time. And so many times I feel I was not there at the right place because of which that right time didn't happen.
Correct.
So it is very interconnected. Both the things are very but I am a very firm believer of Naseeb. You know, so many success stories that you hear of. I just feel that it is destiny that has. Destiny makes you do things. Destiny, we often question, यार मैंने ये क्यों किया? Like I have done some mistakes in my life, be it personal, be it professional. When I was making those mistakes, let me tell you, there was an inner voice which was telling me, ये मत कर.
The gut.
ये मत कर. The gut told me, ये मत कर. But it's your destiny that pulls you to it.
Yeah, right. You can't fight that.
You can't fight that. You can't fight that. You may try. You can try, but you can't fight.
So now that it's been more than 20 years you are in this industry, you've seen a lot of people come, you've seen a lot of people go, new people coming in, new people vanishing away. What is that one experience that you feel that I'll never forget this or this has taught me the most?
For me, my life-altering experience, teaching-wise, was when I did Mohabbatein. So Mohabbatein was my first film. You know, I just happened to go to the office with Mehul, who was doing Hippipure with me, and he's still till date one of my closest buddies. We share everything with each other. So I happened to go to YRF's office, and you know, Nikhil Advani saw me and he said, "Hey, I like your work in Hippipure. Why don't you also audition for Mohabbatein?" I auditioned for Mohabbatein, got the part, started shooting for it. When I was on that set, I saw, it was a set which had the biggest of the biggies. You know, it can't get bigger than that. Yash ji, Adi sir, Mr. Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, everyone, Aishwarya Rai, Farah Khan, मतलब हर डिपार्टमेंट के वो सबसे बड़े दिग्गज लोग थे, वो सब उस फिल्म में थे. When we were shooting that film, I realized one thing when I used to observe them is that there is so much humility in them. There is so much humility in them and there is so much passion to do good work. मतलब we did a long schedule in London और I still remember कड़कती ठंड में शाहरुख खान is just wearing a plain white kurta and doing a scene outside at 6 a.m. and I used to be like, wow, this is dedication, this is hard work, you know, and to top it all, what I want to say is what I learned the most is the humility. The kind of humility these guys had. So I think that experience, Mohabbatein for me more than anything, people still remember me from it. Although I was just a very minuscule part of that film, people still remember me from it and all that. Keeping that aside, it's the lessons that I learned. Seeing all these big guys was hard work, dedication and humility. It is, I think if you keep that with you, you can just go on and on and on and on. And I think that is something that I made my motto. Of course, talent, yes. Without talent, nothing happens. It all begins from talent. But, you know, once a very, very important line was said to me. You might be 100% actor, but a bad human being, people will not call you. You might be a 70-80% good actor, but a 100% human being, people will still keep calling you. So, these are life lessons that you learn and you kind of imbibe in you and you go ahead with it. And I think that is what has kept me going. These are the principles that I follow, and it's not that I follow them forcibly. It's not.
Happens.
It just happens. It's just something that struck you. You put it in your mind, and now it's become a habit for you.
And you've seen people who's done them forever, and they are somewhere. So you'll be like, why not?
Exactly.
And you are that kind of a person. So after that, you've done more than 12 films. Recently, after the OTT was so booming, you've done more than 6-7 shows. In your whole life, as an artist, there comes a downside. There comes something where you're not confident enough about your art form or about your life, or where am I going, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Would you want to bring light towards that aspect of your life?
Yeah. So that phase in my life never came by it was not a part of fate that it happened. It was self-inflicted. I'll explain how. So when after Hip Hip Hooray and after Mohabbat, and then I started doing a lot of TV shows, and I was doing a lot of TV. Then there came a stage in my career where I felt that now I want to grow beyond TV and I want to get into films.
Right.
That's when I landed upon a very, very nice film and a very sweet role in a film called Door with Nagesh Kumar sir. That film was so well received, my role was so well received, although I just had 4 to 5 scenes in the movie, but it was so well received that I felt that okay, after this I can try and I can get into movies. I signed a couple of films in that period. One was a small indie kind of a film, a new director was making, and the other was 8x10 Tasveer, again with Nagesh sir. Those 2 films I felt is going to make me, help me bridge that gap from TV to cinema.
Correct.
Unfortunately, both the films, took very long to get made and released. And Ye Fasle, this other film that I'm talking about, where I was signed as the lead, I was told not to do any TV in that. So, and it was supposed to happen for a span of 6 months. We were supposed to finish shoot within 6 months. The movie was going to be out, and I would be like, okay, chalo, theek hai. 6 months I can give a film. I won't do TV for 6 months. वो 6 महीने के 3 साल हो गए. So it was those 3 years का gap which was self-inflicted. उस period में काम तो by God's grace बहुत मिल रहा था. But I was saying no to so much work because I was like a loyalist. I was like, नहीं, मेरे director ने मुझे बोला है, I cannot take up TV right now, so I should not do TV. I, ate into my savings those 3 years. So yeah, that was a difficult phase, and when both the films came and didn't do very well, unfortunately, that was a phase wherein I kind of hit my low. I was depressed for a very long time, but I had to pick myself up. I mean, I started messaging people, telling them that I want to do TV again, and thankfully goodwill इतना अच्छा था कि लोगों ने बुलाना शुरू किया, and I was back on my TV journey. So that was that 3 years ka phase was very, very disillusioning for me, and it was a tough phase. Demotivating.
But you had to do the whole process again. पहले आपने अपने photos coordinators को भेजे थे.
Right.
3 साल के gap के बाद you again messaging people कि I'm looking for.
Yes, exactly.
Just a cycle.
Yeah.
So this about your downside. Was it easier to pick yourself up, or it took a lot out of you, or something that you gained out of it?
I think what I learned in those 3 years was patience. I earlier was a very fiery-headed guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Which when I tell people, they say, "Okay, we can't imagine you like that."
Yeah.
But I was a fiery-headed guy. I was a very rebellious kind of a guy. Ask my parents how I used to be in my college days. So I think वो जो 3 साल का period है, it taught me patience.
Right.
I also used that time to get into spirituality, religion, got towards the prayer side of it, the spiritual side of it. which I feel is very important also as a creative person. Because आपका spiritual base नहीं होगा तो आप बिखर जाओगे. You will, there's a possibility you might get into wrong habits, you might get into a wrong lifestyle. And I think that was a phase which I kind of used wisely, and I got that kind of motivation. And I used that kind of phase wisely, and I think patience is what I gained the most out of that phase.
Wow, nice. You've been a part of TV, you've been a part of films, you've also been a part of OTT platforms now. What would you always choose? Now, if you have an option to choose out of these three, which one would you pick for the rest of your life? You can only do one.
If I can only do one, I think it would undoubtedly be TV.
Why?
Because TV is because of which I am what I am. I have my identity because of TV. All the OTT shows that I have done, I would say 1 or 2% of people come and tell me that we've seen you in those shows. But 95% of people, they identify me with TV. Right. They come to me and they talk to me about my TV shows, about the roles that I have done in TV. All the sweet aunties that I take pictures with, all the kiddies that I take pictures with. That is all because of TV. They say कि हाँ आपको तो फिल्मों में भी देखा है, but that फिल्मों में भी देखा है is a by the way. It is probably like a one-on-one free. But I feel that it is TV that has given me everything.
And maybe you also got the films, the series because they saw you on TV.
Yes, definitely. Like I said, Nikhil Advani, who was the associate director of Mohabbatein, he used to watch Himankush and he told me, why don't you audition for it?
Right.
Varna, it's not easy for anyone to get an audition also in my life.
Yeah.
So it's like that. So yeah, TV, it would be undoubted.
Okay. As you said before, that Mohabbatein has been a life-changing experience for you. So please tell us an embarrassing moment that happened to you on the sets of Mohabbatein.
I wouldn't say there's been any embarrassing or funny moment because of me, but there is one instance which I remember very clearly, and I think it was it was an instance which taught me what being gracious means. So we were doing a shot in which we are entering the assembly hall, and Shah Rukh sir is entering with us, and I was supposed to just greet him and go. So we didn't have any names, character names in the film. So we were just kind of, three boys who were cast along with the main three boys. That was Mehul, Palash and me. We were cast along with the main three boys. That was Jimmy, Jugal and Uday. And we were not given, we were like boy 1, boy 2, boy 3 kind of a thing. So he asked me my name and I was like, Sir Rushad. And I didn't know why he's asking me my name. And he actually in the shot said, good morning Rushad. And that has, that is a part of the film and I was so thrilled because just imagine Shah Rukh Khan asking you for your name. And it's not just to, it was not just exchanging pleasantries. It was actually, he made it a part of the film and I was like, this guy is so gracious. He is so, it's like, it was an overwhelming thing for me. So that is one instance that I very, very clearly remember from the film.
So ऐसा आपके दिमाग में ना ऐसा बोले हाँ शर्म कैसा है ऐसा कुछ नहीं अच्छा okay. So 23 years of your journey as of today, there has to be that one person, one constant support that always gave you the motivation, always you देखा और अच्छा लगा हाँ ये है जिंदगी में हमारे someone.
Yes, that would be Mehul, my co-actor from Hippipure. So when we, during Hippipure, we became very good friends. And one of the most important connecting factors for us was that हम दोनों साथ में struggle करने चाहते थे. So that was a phase wherein there were mobile phones, but there was no WhatsApp, there was no, ऐसा नहीं था कि आज का जो दौर है कि आपने वीडियो बनाया भेज दिया. Pictures click किए भेज दिए. We used to make hard copies of our photographs and we used to go from office to office to distribute those pictures. तो मेहुल was that one guy जो अपनी बाइक पे मुझे पीछे बिठा के हर जगह लेके जाता कि मैं यहाँ जा रहा हूँ, you come with me, मैं वहाँ जा रहा हूँ. I owe मोहब्बतें, my first film and my most life-altering experience to him. Because if he wouldn't have taken me, I would have probably never landed there. And मोहब्बतें would have never happened for me. So Mehul is that one constant guy in my life who is like a rock, who has always been a support, and he's someone, and I think everyone, all of us have this opinion about him, that he's someone जिसके साथ आप आधा घंटा भी बात कर लो, no matter what phase in your life you are in, no matter how down you are, he is going to lift you up. So yeah, he is one guy who has been that constant for me throughout. And two people, of course, my parents, who have seen me through ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. So I went through a very, very bad personal phase in my life. I went through a bad marriage, and they were there to support me through it. And it was during that marriage wherein, because of what I was told, I was almost on the verge of giving up my acting career. Because I was told that I'm in the wrong field, I should probably be taking up a job, I should do my MBA, take up a job. So that was one portion in my life wherein I almost started hating what I was doing. And imagine someone like me who's so passionate about work, hating what I was doing. So you can imagine the kind of brainwashing that went through to me, because of which I had become that. But it was my parents who kind of guided me the right way, who lifted me out of that, that ditch that I was in. And so they have always been there. They are my strongest support. They are my strongest critics also. They are someone who will not take any bullshit. If I've done a bad job or if I'm not looking good, my dad will be the first person to tell me. He'll be like, "Tera pet dikh raha hai. You need to work out more. You need to cut down on the rice. You need to cut down on the chocolates." So it's them who've been there for me throughout.
Of course. So, sir, your journey is not ending anytime soon. You are still an actor and you're gonna work on a lot of different things. Why don't you give some light on that?
So after Panjbi 2, I have started doing some interesting things. I have anchored a show called NRI Hadsa, which is, we just finished season 2. So season 1 was done as an experiment for the Colors international belt. Colors UK, US, Canada, Singapore, Dubai, all those sectors. So what they wanted to do is specifically make a show for the Colors abroad belt. Because what happens is whatever we make here just automatically gets transmitted over there.
Correct.
So they made this experiment and it was very successful. NRI Hadsa season 1 did very well. So we just finished season 2 and I've just got to know that very soon we are going to start with season 3. So that is my first show as an anchor. It's something like a crime patrol, same format. But only thing is it focuses on crimes that are done on NRIs that have come to India and are living in India.
Oh.
And you will be surprised to know so many NRIs get conned by people over here just because of the fact that they are NRIs. So I'm anchoring that show. That is one thing which is very interesting that is happening. I just finished shooting for a series with Rohan Sippy sir. That's again a thriller. And Sanak Ek Junoon, a web series that I was part of, has just released on MX and it's doing very, very well.
Do watch, boys.
Yeah, do watch it, please. So that was with Vikram Bhatt sir's daughter, Risha, but she directed it. And now I have started doing their film called Cold. I am a part of that as well. They kind of like my work on Sanak and they've cast me in their film now. So hey, chota mota chal raha hai. There's also one short film that a couple of short films that I am going to be working on. One is going to be for Amazon Prime and one is going to be made by a director, a very well acclaimed director from Calcutta. She is going to come down and make this short film. Her first couple of films have she's like a nominee of the Dada Saheb Phalke Awards. So that is going to be happening and let's see.
And
as of now,
that is so nice. So we're going to see you a lot of times in different platforms, nearly all of them now. So all the very best. So we're really excited to see you on everywhere, doing everything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, what is that one thing that you would tell to all of the struggling artists or someone who's trying to become someone that this is that one thing you need to always have?
I think it's humility. Humility is something which will always take you places. And I also feel that as an actor, as a creative person, the more humble you are, the more capacity you have in yourself to imbibe things in yourself, to attract things, to understand things.
Let it in.
Because I feel if you're too full of yourself, how will you let things in? How will you learn? How will you, invite other people in your life or other experiences in your life? So I feel that it's humility. With that, half your battle is won.
So, sir, that is the end of our first segment. But before you go, we have some fun activities planned for you, and we want you to be instant and spontaneous for that. So, are you ready for that?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Let's go.
So let's go.
Yep.
So, sir, the first activity is I'm going to give you random objects,
Okay.
and you have to romanticize them. You have to romanticize with the object.
Okay.
So, are you ready for that?
I think so.
They're going to be weird objects, okay? So, the first object is bottle ka dhakkan.
Okay. And what am I supposed to do? Romanticize with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And action.
Sorry. Let's do that again.
Okay. And action.
तुम्हें देखता हूँ तो मुझे ये अंदाजा होता है कि तुम नहीं होती तो ये पानी नहीं होता जो मैं अभी पीने वाला हूँ.
Okay. So the second object is clip. And action.
I loved you so much. Because of you, I can keep my shirt in one place. So I really love you. Mwah.
Is the kiss very important for you?
It's what defines romance.
Okay, fair enough. So the third object is टूटा हुआ Show Reel का mug. I assume broken things are beautiful as well.
टूटा हुआ mug. Okay, let me see.
And action.
तुम्हारा हैंडल तो नहीं है, पर मैं तुम्हें हैंडल कर सकता हूँ.
That was enough. What a pickup line, sir. Please. Okay. So thank you so much for this amazing pickup line.
Thank you.
So coming to the next activity, I'm gonna give you random tongue twisters, and I'm only going to repeat them twice.
Okay.
So you ready? Okay.
Go for it.
So the first one is चाचा के चौड़े चबूतरे पर चील ने चूहे को चोंच से चबा डाला. I'll say it again.
Okay.
चाचा के चौड़े चबूतरे पर चील ने चूहे को चोंच से चबा डाला.
चाचा के चौड़े चबूतरे पर चील के चोंच ने चबा डाला.
क्या बात है सर? See,
पर कुछ तो मिस आउट किया मैंने.
चूहे ने करा था. Okay. So one last. You have to repeat this 4 times.
Okay.
Okay. तोला राम ताला तोल के तेल में तुला गया.
तोला राम ताला तोल के तेल में तुला गया. तोला राम ताला तोल के तेल में तुला गया. तोला राम ताला तोल के तेल में तुला गया. तोला राम ताला तोल के तेल में तुला गया.
अरे क्या बात है सर. Fabulous. That was so fantastic.
Thank you.
Okay. So with this, unfortunately, we have to conclude the interview.
Okay.
But before that, I would personally like to say it was a great honor to have you on this show. Everything that you said, your experiences, your stories, I hope everyone who's listening learn with it. And if not, then at least imbibe a few qualities and be humble for sure. So I hope you enjoyed coming here and having the discussion with us.
Had a fantastic time. Thank you so much.
So sir, before you leave, we have a small token of appreciation from our end. And here you go.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome, sir. All the best for all of your upcoming projects. We're too excited to see you and have a great day.
Thank you so much, and all the very best to you and your show.
Thank you very much, sir. Hope to see you soon.
Yes. Take care.
Take care.
So guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share Show Reel Media. याद रहेगा ना नाम?